board, it feels like we'll probably see him go back towards something like the Udyr.
Yeah, Udyr is available and Rumble's been banned. So in terms of the jungle matchup, you'd expect SofM to just insta-lock that Udyr for himself. But Akali being hovered right now, that would be very early lock-in. It's in Zhao. Locked in for SofM. Perhaps just a matchup that he's more than happy to more than comfortable to go up against an Udyr on. And we'll see if it's going to be an AD carry locked in here for Suning once again, or whether they go for something else and show their cards a little bit. But I think they're trying to play this one slow and keep their cards close to their chest.
So we haven't actually seen the Zhao for SofM this split, but we did see it back in the spring playoffs. Now, a lot of what we've seen has been the Gore Drinker, Sterix, Essence Reaver style of Zhao, but there are multiple different styles. Obviously, we've seen like Tank, we've even seen Immortal Shield Bow as well in other regions. So curious to see, especially for SofM, who is so flexible with his builds, what he decides to go for here. On the opposite side though, Ultra Prime are going, hey look, let's just double down on dive, take the Sett here, potentially even go towards the Kaisa here for Smlz. Although looks like it's actually going to be Hacker taking that Lillia. So this has kind of been Hacker's go-to pick in a lot of scenarios. I think this is the 4th game now he has on this pick. I'm just going to do, 4th game now for Hacker on this pick. It is his most played. He's really fond of this Lillia pick.
His KDA right now is 9 on the Lillia. Across 3 games, he's won 2 out of 3. Hacker is loving the Lillia, and look, he's got AD solo laners to play around, right? It feels like this game is set up for Hacker to be the carry of Ultra Prime, which I'm totally down for, because after the last game, felt like Hacker couldn't really do anything. I'm liking this adaptation coming on through. Angel goes for the Akali, not too surprising there. We saw it at Worlds. It was absolutely beautiful to see, so excited to see what he's going to bring to the table there. Varus banned away by Suning.
Yeah, Varus taken off the board. I mean, it makes sense to go towards AD carries, right? Especially since you have no bot lane locked in at all. Now, again, Smlz still could go towards this Lulu Kog'Maw. You got a very beefy front line, but certainly I think like getting rid of something like the Kaisa, I think is a lot better here. We're already looking at a pretty dive-heavy composition, one that's very short range, and I feel like that's what synergizes with Ultra Prime pretty nicely thus far.
Twisted Fate taken off the board, which... it's a bit of a head scratcher, because that would imply that they think Bin is going to be playing the Akali, not Angel, unless they're expecting
we have
Twisted
seen it
Fate
before.
support to come through.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time that we have seen an Akali go top. It can work incredibly well.
Yeah,
and
it's just like if you're Suning, you're probably going to play for Angel, right? Like we've seen Angel play Akali, we know he's great at it. I don't know if we've ever seen Bin play Akali, not to my memory at least. I don't think it was very likely that the Akali was going towards the top side. Maybe it's just a really good matchup into Nocturne, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing here is like looking at, okay, so what are we actually going to look at for the support here for On? Because we already kind of said, hey look, if you want to go super safe in the spot lane again for the Braum, that's fine, just have yourself as Suning play up towards that top side. But it does mean, at least from Ultra Prime's perspective, you have a much clearer game plan here, because you've got a strong top side. I mean, you've already got the Sett for mid, basically guarantees yourself pressure there. You have the Nocturne, who should be in a good state in the top side of the map as well. Hacker can play through these 2 lanes and try and avoid any sort of 1v1 confrontations with SofM. I think you're in an okay spot here if you want to continue as Ultra Prime. We were talking about go towards Kaisa, try and lock in something like the Nautilus here as well, and go for these big team fights.
All right, well, Bin, one of his biggest pop-off moments of the split so far has been on this Gwen. We'll see how he's going to perform on that one. We're just having a look at his stats. He has played Akali twice in his career so far, so I guess it was possible. Maybe I was being a bit too harsh, but regardless, it's going to be this Rakan locked in alongside Smlz's Kaisa. A lot of dive potential, a lot of setup for Hacker and Smlz to be the big carries in these skirmishes and in these team fights. I'm liking this composition that Up have gone for. Much more proactive, much more dive heavy than what we got to see in game 1.
Yeah, I think this gives a lot more freedom to them. We're already kind of saying, hey, look, strong top side of the map, and you've got a Kaisa that's free to play through bot side. ShiauC can open up for roams as well, look to support Hacker and playing through that top side. So I think for Ultra Prime, this is the early game pressure that I wanted to see them go for. Because when you look at Suning, right, Gwen will have early pressure, but certainly has to be careful of Hacker coming up. Angel will not be able to contest Irma on any of these roams, and honestly, if you've got a ShiauC who's completely turning the tide of that, it could work out super well. So I think for Suning, it's about trying to scale into the later portion of the game where Gwen just dominates team fights. Angel becomes a serious threat where he's actually able to threaten a dive on towards Smlz, and Huanfeng has hit his 2-item spike. So I think there's still a little bit more scaling on Suning's side, but still a decent mid game. But certainly the mid game dive composition that Ultra Prime have gone for gives them a lot of control at the 15 to 25 minute mark.
Yeah, I'm a little scared for Suning, honestly. In terms of just straight up eye test on the compositions, I feel like Huanfeng is going to be left out to dry a little bit by his team against a composition that is going to specialize at killing Huanfeng. So that could be a bit of an issue. But that said, with a Gwen and an Akali both able to dance around these fights in their shrouds, with a Zhao that obviously can block all of the range damage coming his way, does feel like maybe there are tools in the kit for Suning to be able to win these fights. But I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that mid lane where we're seeing Irma bringing this Sett to the table. Irma has played Sett a couple of times already. He is a 100% win rate on the Sett over 2 games. His KDA is 7. This kind of composition has been how Ultra Prime have succeeded in the LPL so far this split, and I'm excited to see them rinse and repeat this strategy and bring it back to the stage.
And I mean, there's a reason that we're seeing a lot of success from kind of the quote-unquote like lower teams in the LPL with these, because there are compositions that are quite easy to execute. Like you get a definitive go button with like the Paranoia, with the Showstopper. Like these are very clear identifiers for when you want to be engaging. Plus, very good at trying to collapse on people that are out of position, because you have multiple follow-up options. I mean, Nocturne goes in, Smlz follows up with the Killer Instinct. They're super good at just punishing mistakes from the opponent. So certainly Ultra Prime going back towards something that can work very well if they're able to close out this game before Bin becomes too much of a menace.
That'll be the big question, because Bin, he's going for the Ignite TP. You can see one of the Bin signs in the corner right there with an Smlz sign behind him. It does feel like Bin has the potential to go mental this game, because with that Shroud, Gwen can be an absolute menace to deal with if you get ahead. And Bin is one of the players that has shown that team fighting on Gwen is one of her specialities. But Hacker going to be starting on this bottom side, whereas SofM starting up towards the top side and actually starting with his chickens, which is something I've not personally seen on Zhao, but I'm certainly no jungle expert.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see he started the W just to try and clear those out. So going for his own kind of full clear here, looks like he's going to taper off up towards the Krugs as well, whereas we see the full clear from Hackers too. So Hacker kind of realizing, hey, look, I actually just have the quicker clear here. So at least when it comes to contesting these objectives, I'm all right.
On's in trouble here. Ignite's ticking down, flash forward. I think Smlz actually could have killed that. I think if he flashes forward, I think that might have been a kill, because there's no heal for Huanfeng. He has cleanse, not heal. I think On was only 1 or 2 autos away from going down, but up regardless of whether they get the kill, they get themselves an advantage in this bottom lane. Now Huanfeng barely dodges away from the hook. Oh no, underneath the tower though, Smlz, 1 HP, flash forward from Huanfeng, 1 more auto to do the trick. He's barely getting away with this one. A Q available. Huanfeng ease in aggressively, looking for the 2v1 here as On trying to catch up. The root flashed away from by ShiauC, and the hook goes wide, but it doesn't matter because it's a 2v2 for Suning.
Oh, but it started out so well for Ultra Prime, turns into absolute disaster as they give over a kill and so much control on that bottom side. Now Hacker doesn't even realize he's standing on a ward.
He thinks he's standing just outside of vision. He thinks the ward is in that brush, but it's further in. Bin has outplayed him before he ever even arrived, and Hacker can't make anything happen off that one. He will be able to go for the Scuttle Crab, obviously, but he'll be trading on the other side of the map. Let's take another look. This Huanfeng barely dodges the knock.
I mean, it's a terrible idea to go underneath the tower against the Nautilus, especially as Rakan. Like, you just don't have the health bar to deal with it. And the fact that ShiauC managed to escape and Smlz is the one that gets locked up only kind of adds salt into the wound, because now you're going to lose out on a bunch of that CS on the bottom side, a lot of XP. And you can see Huanfeng, he's backed away and he's got such a nice back. Sheen already picked up and the tier alongside it. Like, he's in a prime spot now to just farm it out and actually still, like, hurt quite a bit when he hits with those mystic shots.
And the really sad thing for Smlz in that play on the bot side as well is he was behind ShiauC. So in his mind, he didn't need to dodge that hook, but then ShiauC uses his battle dance and ends up dodging away from the hook, and he ends up dodging behind Smlz, who then takes the brunt of an anchor to the face. As Angel taking some heavy trades here. Angel knows what this Sett can do. He's well aware. He was doing it all through last game. But this time he's on the Akali, who doesn't have a great early game and will not win the early game against the Sett.
Now, SofM pathing up topside, like, he's kind of just opted into clearing over and over again, because at the moment, he has his bot lane going perfectly fine. Bin is happy to just farm it out in top lane. The 1v1 means there's no real pressure. And he's just here to make sure that Bin can collect this wave without any sort of dive coming through from Ultra Prime. But again, we're seeing, hey, look, nothing really happening from Ultra Prime. I mean, this early game we thought we'd see Irma going for moves. Maybe we get to see Hacker work in conjunction with ZS, but there haven't really been any opportunities for them.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about this composition, we did kind of talk about the one item power spike and being able to go for dives in the mid game. So I feel like, oh no, the hook lands from On. He's just on fire in this lane so far. He can't miss, man. He can't miss in the bottom lane. Really nicely done there. Good bit of damage down. ShiauC does have Ignite, but that's about the only summoner available in the lane for the side of up. So look for a little bit more. That anchor was barely wide, and that would have been a kill on ShiauC, I think.
Yeah, no flash definitely would have been, especially when you get the follow-up CC just from the auto attacks. So they do need to be very, very careful here. This is not the way you would have expected this bot lane to go. The fact that Huanfeng and On are now threatening potential kills, it says a lot about how Ultra Prime's early game is gone. Now, ZS in the top lane.
Yeah, a bit of a 1v1 here. ZS winning out to start it off, but now Bin stacking his ultimate up. Oh no, dodges the swirl seed. That was a close one. Good reactions from Bin here. Could still be in trouble though. The dive is an option, but the minion wave hasn't crashed just yet. Hacker trying to make his way up. Dodges the swirl seed once again. Bin's going to be in trouble though. Surely. Oh no, Hacker's not level 6 just yet. Doesn't matter. Has the damage. Doesn't need to put him to sleep.
Yeah, nice pickup though. Unfortunately, ZS doesn't get any of the kill assist, but even then, he's getting turret plates. Look at the massive wave that Bin is losing as well. Like, This is where every so often SofM kind of just goes into this nocturnal state where he just farms it out, doesn't really get much going in the lanes. I think in this situation, making sure that Bin is actually safe is more valuable than getting this dragon.
FM playing towards the bottom side here. Maybe just playing to his stronger lane, right? Where we can see Huanfeng and On getting an advantage for themselves, and SofM just leveraging that for a Drake. But as you rightly say, it does feel like maybe he needed to help up on the top side. Irma has found On now as a swirl seed comes on through, and Hacker is now level 6. Doesn't even need to use the ult though, because it's just a free kill onto On. And Suning just way overextending there. Like, that was On just trying to get a control ward down. You can see the control ward in that brush next to the red buff. That's why he dies, but I don't know whether that's worth it.
I mean, you're going to have a pretty decent idea as to where Hacker is clearing at this stage, so no real need to go in that deep. Even if you get at the back of, sorry, not the back of the red, side of the red buff, you would have had enough information there. So now you just end up with a kill going across. On gets punished for it, and it's a bit of control going back in Ultra Prime's favor. Now 2 kills for Hacker. Like, he's going to slowly but surely start to become a bit of an issue, especially when you get towards these later fights.
See if Hacker's going to be able to be the carry. I'm excited to see what he can do in this game. ShiauC getting fairly low as Ultra Prime started that trade, but they certainly didn't finish it. That was very heavily one-sided in favor of Suning. As you can see, the Sheen has now been finished by Huanfeng. He's got a tier stacking up as well. And Ezreal is one of those champions that I think used to be very weak during the laning phase, but in more recent patches has become stronger and stronger. The Q, if you can land it consistently with a Sheen, feels like you have much more of an advantage in the laning phase than I think people really realize.
Yeah, well, I think in this game especially, he got accelerated because first with Recall, he managed to get that Sheen. Had already got the tier stacking as well. And just with how strong Divine Sunder is, honestly, it's not even a 2-atom spike anymore. It's just a Divine Sunder spike. So that's why you kind of see people rushing it so often now. It's just that item is insane, and if you actually start to connect with them, especially if you got your W on someone, you're taking, you know, a third, if not more, of someone's health bar just straight off bat.
And I think as well, the ult buff that came through helped him a lot when they made it so you still do a lot of damage to champions, even if you pass through a minion wave. I think that was such a crucial change for Ezreal to be able to come back into the meta, meaning that you can use that ult a little bit more proactively and use it kind of for poke, not necessarily just in the middle of team fights. So it does feel like it's been a bit of a perfect storm to put Ezreal in a spot where he can be a priority AD carry once again on starting the Scuttle Crab off, able to dodge the Swirl Seed here, but still SofM does manage to get the Scuttle Crab. Hack is there too late.
Yeah, and I still think Ultra Prime, with the kind of the combo they have between the Sett, the Nocturne, and the Lillia, should be the ones that are controlling these skirmishes. Now, they've moved the rest of the people up as well, so the bot lane is here as well. But honestly, this is going to be a tough one if Suning try to contest. They have to try and separate Ultra Prime like they are right now and collapse onto the 3 members that are up towards this Rift Tower.
See Bin moving around to join with his team. It would be a 3 versus 5. ShiauC and Smlz trying to find a way into the river, but kind of being denied for now. Bin and SofM trying to contest, but they're going to be put to sleep here. The Shroud comes in, sleep times out. They're just looking for the Herald or Ultra Prime, and they will be able to get it. Bin and the rest of the squad from Suning don't really commit in the end. They get put to sleep and they doze off.
Nicely done by Ultra Prime. I mean, they managed to get away with it, and especially because Suning had rotated Huanfeng and on up to that fight as well. It means that they're not actually getting any sort of chip damage onto this bottom lane turret. So now I wouldn't be surprised to see Hacker, you know, after clearing this bot side, move back up top lane, try and finish off this top lane turret if ZS honestly doesn't just get it himself.
ZS might be able to finish it. It is still a whole 5th plate, which does take a long time. But ZS, regardless of if they finish his tower or not, he has a 20 CS lead. He's already got 4 plates for himself. They have all been solo plates. Oh, no. Oh, it's not good news. Here we go. In goes SofM, but he can't win this 1v1, and Bin's not going to be able to close the gap. Unfortunately, there was no real way for Bin to get closer without giving up the entire play, so I think ZS was inevitably going to be fine.
Yeah, you can see the spotty senses tingling the second Bin stepped up too far, so he backs away. And I mean, you're looking at 1,000 gold lead for ZS in that top side, and it's just from farm, from those plates. And now you've got like both ShiauC and Hacker moving up to this top side. It looks like they're trying to see if they could maybe collect on towards Bin once more and finish off that turret, but thinking better of it, as Bin should just back away off this tower push.
Yep, Bin gets 1 plate for himself. Nothing too incredible, but it's going to be a nice little advantage here. Angel gets pulled in, Twilight Shroud comes out, dodges everything though, and will walk away with his life. Nice fancy footwork there coming out from Angel to keep himself safe. Drake is on the map, Dagda, and Suning were the first ones to get the Infernal Drake here. It'll be an Ocean on the map now, meaning we have either a Cloud or a Mountain Soul on. Just barely misses the hook there onto ShiauC. Smlz gets a plate on the bottom side. Sleep comes through. It's onto the jungler here. True Shot Barrage across the team. ShiauC already getting fairly low. In come the rest of the squad, though. And Irma looking good as Hacker gets the first kill. And now Suning grouped up with health bars fairly low on up. Maybe they can commit to this one. Smlz over behind the play, but he's Kaisa. He can reposition very easily on. Going to be the front line right here. Jumps away. ShiauC over the wall, trying to get a knock up here. Has been doing what he can. In goes Angel onto the back line. Finishes ShiauC off on will fall. 3v4 now in favor of Ultra Prime, but Angel is looking to finish off ZS. Double kill for the Akali in the mid lane. Angel looking to turn this game around, and now Huanfeng maybe can clean up, but doesn't look like he's willing to commit.
Angel holding that plate together completely for Suning. At the start of that, I was like, right, this is the straw that's going to break the camel's back. This is where we get full control of this game for Ultra Prime. But Angel managing to get 2 quick kills back in their favor, manages to hold that play together completely. And you see it here, right? Very messy from Suning. SofM tries to move in here, gets caught by the Swirl Seed, and it means that when the Lullaby comes in, everyone just jumps inside the circle and makes the play happen. But after this, a bit of back and forth, because you end up with both teams on opposite side of the maps. Smlz is separated, so he's not really able to move forward here and try and get some work done. But again, like, the poke coming through from Bin as this starts to move forward. You're starting to get Angel, who's starting to look at these health bars and going, okay, yeah, I get onto ShiauC, we get the kill there. I get onto ZS, we can make it happen as well. But nice plays coming through from Suning to actually turn that back around. Now, in the bottom left corner of your screen, though, we're having a lot of pressure in this bottom lane.
Bit of a brawl coming through here, and the TP as well. ShiauC's in trouble. The TP's going to be answered as SofM is onto the backline here, trying to finish off ShiauC. That's one kill in favor of Suning, and now looking for a little bit more. Irma will be happy to be the front line, but he's knocked up, and there's plenty of damage to finish him off. Huanfeng gets the kill credit as Smlz gets chunked by that Mystic Shot with the Divine Sunderer. And it does feel like Suning are slowly but surely starting to get a better grasp on what's happening in this game.
Hey, I mean, you got a 3-kill Akali now. That is a dangerous place to be if you're an Ultra Prime fan, because this Akali will very quickly get that Zhonya's. She'll take over as an absolute menace when it comes towards both side lanes and team fights. It becomes really hard to deal with an Akali when she gets to this level.
Certainly does, and that'll be a second Drake as well for Suning. So they have that kind of extra win condition starting to stack up. It is a Cloud Drake, so not going to be the ultimate game changer, but certainly still valuable, especially on Gwen, actually. Gwen with a Cloud Drake, obviously the ult CDR anyway is very nice from stacking Cloud Drakes, but also the movement speed that you get from proccing your ult. You get to proc your ult 3 times, right? So very, very valuable on the Gwen to be able to reposition on a champion that's already exceptionally mobile. So can be very, very valuable regardless. And Suning looking towards that one, as they do have an even gold score at this point. After Ultra Prime had such a great start for themselves, they had a big gold advantage. But that, unfortunately, has slowly but surely whittled away, and ZS wants to punish the fact that we saw the recall coming on in, as she uses the paranoia to try and make it so nobody... I guess that was so people didn't know what was happening, but, I mean, we know what Lane Nocturne is.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bluff. He was like, look, Bin definitely cannot survive this play. I'm going to bluff the fact that we've got Hacker or Irma or someone coming up. But it was actually just Akali. So he was like, wait, I can't actually kill Angel right now.
Yeah.
Angel's got the Riftmaker. He's pretty darn strong. Like, so he ends up backing away.
7
so
stacks of Dark Seal as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't trifle with Angel right now. And Zenith might actually find out about us.
Yep, 5-point strike hits him square in the eyes, and a little shuriken to boot as well. Angels decided to swap up to that top side. It's going to be Bin going into the bottom lane, as Suning sort of set up with I guess a 1-3-1, although the jungler and the support right now on an SofM kind of trying to set up vision, and SofM just clearing his jungle for the time being. But curious how the next few minutes of this game pan out, because we're going to have Baron coming onto the map in 4 minutes. Herald is up for now. There's not another Drake for 3 minutes, so it does feel like Herald is going to be the port of call for either team. But with the gold dead even right now, and we are getting towards those one-item spikes, this feels like the opportunity for Up to really start to find a lead for themselves.
Well, I think, honestly, Suning are just stronger than them right now. Riftmaker for Akali's nuts, Divine Sunder for Huanfeng, and even the Iceborne Gauntlet, seeing the tanky build coming through from SofM, he can set up so well. And Ultra Prime just don't have an into this fight.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and see, as ShiauC, certainly with the quickness, with his grand entrance as well, can make a big play happen. Paranoia comes in, 4 men strong for Suning, and they just blow on up right off of the bat. But Up are getting low themselves. ShiauC forced out of the fight. Huanfeng still going strong. He will be put to sleep by Hacker, who turns golden himself. Bin on this Gwen is threatening so scarily. The needles through the team! Angel blows them to smithereens on the Akali.
That was an insane quadra kill coming out for Angel, but Huanfeng, how dare you? You just stole the pentakill at the last second. He was right there with the 5-point strike for the 5-point kill. I just steal it right out from underneath them.
And, you know, Angel was already pretty strong. Now he's 701 strong. A 700 gold bounty. He just finished the Zhonya's. He's got 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. If he wasn't big enough already, everything was set up beautifully by Bin. Look at Bin's needleworks during this fight. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, well, you can see here, look, you get that massive dive, but all of his on's on, right? So Huanfeng, he's managed to reposition. Angel has managed to back away from the fight. And it's a nice attempt from Hacker here. Maybe if he'd gotten SofM as well with that CC, he would have been fine. But Angel plays this so well. The needlework sets up perfectly for Angel to come through with the last dab of perfect execution. But unfortunately, then Huanfeng steals away the penta. I think there's 2 reasons Angel has kicked himself in that fight. 1, not getting the penta, and 2, not having his Dark Seal upgraded, so he could have got more than 10 stacks.
I know, yeah, that would basically be a fully stacked Medjai's off the back of that one. Angel maybe will find more here, though. ShiauC backs away. Paranoia comes in, and actually, SofM in trouble. will get out with his life, though. And it's going to buy a lot of space. They've burnt a couple of cooldowns there off the back of that fight. Up are going to have to go for a reset. And it's just as Drake is 40 seconds away from spawning. So full vision control will be in favor of Sunni.
Yeah, and not having something like the paranoia for these fights is actually pretty big for Ultra Prime. Like, ZS needs to be the dive buddy alongside Irma, or he kind of just spends the whole fight playing catch-up. So now, Sunni, not really under threat as they start to get this vision, and they should be able to get this third dragon for themselves.
And that would put them on Soul Point if Sunni can get it. But Ultra Prime are going to be here, as you rightly said, though. Paranoia on cooldown for ZS, but they have the sleep, they have the showstopper. It's still a possible fight win. ShiauC has to be the one to face check, and Angel is there, but actually Angel, he's the one being baited here. Twilight Shroud comes out to try and survive for the time being, but oh, actually dipped out at the top of the fight. I don't even know where he went. Finally went down. They toggled the vision in the middle of the fight there as ZS trying to close the gap onto Bin, but he's just going to dash away here. Smlz could all on up. Importantly, so much gold not in play for Sunni with Angel not in this fight here. This is the opportunity for Ultra Prime to get themselves an advantage, and Sunni are playing with fire by trying to go for a 4v5 here. In goes Irma onto everyone, but it's on to take damage, and he's okay with that one. SofM on the back line as well, and Sunni are winning a 4v5 against Ultra Prime. Smlz trapped in a corner and taken out by Huanfeng. And it's just going to be a soul recall from ZS and a Drake taken by Sunni.
So much damage coming out from Sunni in that engagement, and Huanfeng played that initial burst so damn well. ZS, though, trying to see if he can steal the dragon.
We go on to the likes of Bin, and he might just be able to do this one. The dot is ticking down. There it is. One more auto. ZS finishes him off and stops the Drake. In the meantime, look where the rest of Sunni is. There's a reason that Drake is available to be contested. On flashes away, and ZS can't get a second one. True Shot Barrage goes a little awry. But the problem with that True Shot Barrage, Huanfeng, is you've just told everyone in the game that you're currently on Baron.
ShiauC is going to be here. Smite available for SofM, so should be ready for the steal, but Irma might find the fight after.
Here we go. The Baron is taken. Ultra Prime have to punish here. ShiauC in the middle of everyone, but he's just too damn squishy. The sleep comes through ZS onto Huanfeng, but he's just getting 1v1 by the AD carry. Huanfeng in the back of the pit jumps over the wall as well, and he's happy as Larry to just blast everyone to pieces. SofM and Angel in the midst of everything, and Sunni are dancing a dance around Ultra Prime right now.
Sunni's carries are just too clean, man. Angel picking up that quadra, then Huanfeng playing that expertly. Like, the back line for Sunni is coming alive in this game. And now you're looking at like 8,000 gold lead. Baron just picked up. Angel is 9-1-3. You stick this Akali in a side lane and there's nobody who can contest him. And you're going to see on the replay here that, like, watch Huanfeng at the start of this. Like, he's getting off so much burst damage. Arcane shifting for the perfect time to finish off Irma. And is now in a position that he can continuously threaten Smlz, force ZS back. And we talked about at the start as well, ZS without paranoia is half a champion. He cannot really get onto the back line and enact his game plan. Then is here as well, Angel survives for so damn long. And as well, Huanfeng is just threatening so much in this fight. Again, ZS tries to go onto Huanfeng. Huanfeng with the Divine Thunder, so much healing, so good at dealing with all the tanky stats that are coming through on these fighters that just, they can't do anything. Now what more?
Oh no, ShiauC's been caught by the looks of this. Oh, it's ZS actually. And it's a double kill. There's two of them that were caught there as we come in late on the play. And, well, Dagda, that might actually be game off the back of that double kill. Two picks in the jungle while they've got a Baron and a huge minion wave in the mid lane. Dagda out of nowhere. I think the series might be about to end. On goes in onto the tower. Here we go. Big engage coming through from Irma, trying to save the game. They get one. It's on to Bin here, but can they finish the fight off? Irma will go down for his trouble. Smlz falls as well. Great snipe coming out from Huanfeng. And now ShiauC is alone in the world, but Hacker's just respawned. Maybe it's salvageable. Maybe Ultra Prime can hold on here, but the hook comes in, and Hacker the target as he desperately tries to get back to the base, but Angel, he's not having any of it. Now ZS comes in, but it's all one by one, and it's just not going to be enough for Ultra Prime. Sunni have found their roar as they take themselves a 2-0 win over Ultra Prime.
The conga line of death from Ultra Prime will lead them straight out of this series, as just out of nowhere, Suning find those picks and find the series victory. Great performance from Angel and Huanfeng in this game to bring Suning to that 2-0.
And you know, I criticized